Hey, welcome back again. Island photographer jumped in on my chat here, but I'm making these. I'm putting them up unlisted so that I can just crank out a few videos and then I'll make them public, and then I'm not doing any editing. So it's kind of like a live stream, but not. Um, another. Before we jump into this, I want to talk about how Washington Democrats seek to push LGBTQ sex ed for kindergartners. Before I do that, please join the Discord. It should be in the description below, and also check me out on D Live, SJG Perspective, and on Parlor, SJG Perspective. Please follow me there. Along with the tube of you. Okay, let's jump into this article here. It says, Washington Democrats seek to push LGBTQ sex ed for kindergartners because nothing else spells common sense and spells decency like teaching our kindergartners about the LGBTQ agenda and sex. I mean, that just makes sense, right? Because children should be sexualized. I mean, and they should be taught early on that boys are not necessarily boys and girls are not necessarily girls, and boys can be attracted to boys and girls to girls, and you might even be a boy that thinks you're a girl, and this is all stuff that is very important to teach our kids. It says Democrats in the state of Washington, such a backward ass state, just like Oregon. Democrats in the state of Washington are now seeking to institute statewide LGBTQ-focused sex ed program that would be taught to students ranging from kindergarten to high school. House Bill 2184 would institute comprehensive sexual health education in Washington's public schools by the year 2022. I remember that when it was, you didn't even teach heterosexual sex ed until you were in junior high, because the kids, when they're younger, don't need to be hearing about this, don't need to be learning about this. Let them play soccer, let them climb on the monkey bars, let them do all that fun kid stuff. Let's teach them about sex later on in life when that's starting to come into their mind. Right, and even back then, parents were like, "Hey, you leave the sex ed teaching to me," and would opt their kids out of it. Now, the Washington, and you say this isn't an agenda, you're full of it. You're absolutely lying to yourself. We want to start teaching them LGBTQ sex education when they're in kindergarten. If that makes any sense to you, you need to have your head checked out, because it is absolutely insanity. It's the way the world's going. It's the way we've been going for a long time, but it's still insanity, and we need to call it out and continue to call it out. A parental watchdog group in the state is raising the alarm, calling out the progressive legislation for marketing of adult sexuality to children. This little tweet, I think, says, or what our Facebook post says, in most cases, comprehensive doesn't mean what we think it means. Most of us might think that means the biology of sex and the fertilization process. Maybe to include some information about avoiding STDs and pregnancy. In reality, though, most who promote comprehensive sex education, listen to this, are talking about the details of sexual activity and the varieties of sexual stimulation. So we're not just telling them the do's and the don'ts, the birds and the bees, wrap it up, or it could, you could get like spots on it and whatnot. We're saying, hey, by the way, there's some different sexual activities and there's some different things you can do to stimulate yourself. And we're teaching this. They want to start teaching this to elementary kids, starting in kindergarten. Many such programs include subtle and not so subtle encouragement for the students to experiment with the same or opposite sex partners. Feel it out, see how you like it. Go, maybe you like the bungholio, right? Or maybe you like the old scissorino, just figure it out. Instructions on the nature of orgasm and all ways to achieve it, along with drawings and or photos that show them how. Another post from the Informed Parents Washington revealed some of the sexually explicit content the sex ed program has lined up for 6th graders. Listen to this. The 3 R's begin to sexualize children very early with the role-playing and group exercises regarding sexual relationships. These 2 exercises are designed for 6th graders in lessons 3 and 5. Notice, too, the teacher goes out of the way to make sure a child having sex is not shamed. There's nothing to be shamed about, making a spiritual and emotional connection when you are way too young to even in any way comprehend and understand the significance of that. There's no shame in that. Gone are the days of telling somebody that, hey, you want a little tummy time, or you want to diddle your doodad in your bedroom or in the bath while you're taking a bath. Gone are the days of saying, hey, that's normal, because that is kind of normal. Now we're going to teach them that It's okay, man, and it's okay to have sex and not feel ashamed about it. No, you should feel some shame. Shame can be good at times. Shame can be good at times to keep us in the boundaries of where we need to be at the right developmentary time and space of our lives. There's no similar concern for those choosing not to have sex. Students are also not told the benefits of abstinence. Teens who are abstain have fewer problems with smoking, drug use, and vandalism. They don't cover that. And are way more emotionally healthy. You don't cover that. They are better off academically, emotionally, and socially than other sexually active peers. Don't we want the best for our kids? No, we don't want the best for our kids. We want to sexualize our kids. According to, these far progressive leftists want to sexualize our kids. They don't want what's better for the kids. They want it's an agenda. You see it on every movie. You see it on every show. You hear it in the music. You see it everywhere around us because they are wanting to degrade and destroy kids and children. Because if you can do that, you can mold the society to absolute degeneracy that you want. And that is the agenda and the point behind all of this craziness. A program of sex ed that is taught to kindergartens may be unprecedented in national American public education, especially considering it's slated to include morally controversial topics such as homosexuality. A survey by the Washington Office of Superintendent of Public Instructions revealed that Washington parents are overwhelmingly opposed to the notion of teaching sex ed to kids as young as kindergartners. More than 10,000 responses have been recorded, and over 58% of Washingtonians are opposed to the notion of youth sex ed. But the state's Democratic government is fine with simply ignoring the will of the parents and the children in the public schools, plowing ahead with the sex ed program regardless of public sentiment. A Republican legislator, Michelle Cartier, described the program's contents as completely inappropriate in a radio interview. I think that if it was appropriate for me to say at the state house, I think that if it is inappropriate for me to say sitting in the legislature, the state house, I don't think that's something that I would want to teach a kindergartner. 97 people have signed up to testify at the Washington House of Representatives in regards to the controversial sex ed proposal, but only 16 are being allowed to because of time restraints. We only have so much time to get through it. But if they were black people, or if they were talking about Black Lives Matter, if they were something that is considered on the intersectional scale, then they'd get as much time as they want. But no, Republicans or conservative people talking about not sexualizing our kids. That's not worth giving you a proper amount of time. We have time constraints. We can't listen to all of you. This is crazy. It is, politics is all downstream, man, of culture and society, man. So all of these stuff that's happening in our culture and society, man, it bleeds into our politics, and then it bleeds into our laws, and it bleeds into the completely brainwashing and the closing of the eyes, the closing of morality, the mocking of morality in our society and in our world. It is a wildfire that I think is burning itself out at times, but then I lose hope, and I'm like, oh, crap, no, it's just gaining steam. We need to raise our voice, we need to be aware, and we need to push back, and most importantly, you need to push back in your own family and sit down with your kids and let them know what's right and what's wrong, because don't leave it to the schools, don't leave it to the government, don't leave it to our pop culture, because they're going to get taught, they're going to get shaped one way or another, so you be the one shaping their minds, and you be the one pushing back with godly morale, moral standards into them, because that's the only way we're going to stem this tide. If you guys like what I'm doing, please subscribe and make sure you hit the bell notification if you haven't. Also, please, I'd appreciate it if you guys followed me on my Discord. I got Basic Bruh. Basic Bruh is in here. Nice to see you, Basic Bruh. And again, I'm just putting out these videos today because I'm not going to be here later, so I'm recording them and I'm just popping them out live. It's like a baby. I'm just popping them out live. Anyways, without fear or animus, it's SJG Perspective. I think I'm going to do one more article, and then I will be heading up to the mountains. So you guys have a wonderful Saturday, and we will probably see you Sunday night. I'll probably jump on Sunday night and say hello to everybody. So till next time, we'll see you guys later. Without fear or animus, it's SJG Perspective, and we will talk to you later. Trying to find the right button to hit. Bye.